It is a beautiful November day here in Hammonton, New Jersey, and playoff football is in the air. Today, a pair of Cape Atlantic rivals clash in the first round of the Group 2s as the Buena Chiefs take on the Hammonton Blue Devils. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ed Bank along with Tad Kosneski. Tad, the Buena Chiefs come in at 5-3, and when they were 1-3 earlier in the season, the last thing on their mind was the playoffs. Although they come in as heavy underdogs, they're very happy just to be here and get a crack at their arch rival.
I think that's the key word, Ed. They're just happy to be here. That could be good. Hey, you got here, but that could also be bad when you start playing the game because you obviously got the game. Now you want to win the game. So that's what Coach Donahue's had to convey to his teammates, his players this week. We're here to win the game. We're not happy to be here. We want to win the ball game. And again, you really have to credit them, Ed, with their losses early on. They put a winning streak together, and it's just a great thing that they have gotten here this afternoon.
And they will be going against a very strong Hammonton team, strong on both sides of the football. This is the team favored by just about everybody to win the Group 2. They come in at 8-0 with some very impressive stats, and Tad, they're well balanced on offense by their great fullback, Ron Dorsey.
Yeah, Dorsey's the guy that makes his team go. He's second in South Jersey with touchdowns, also led by their quarterback, Torres. Both those players, Ed, played in the Group 2 championship game 2 years ago as sophomores. So these guys know what playoffs are all about. And as a team, Ed, Hammonton has won 4 of their last 5 playoff games. So to these guys, this is just another day at the office, Ed.
Again, this is a division rivalry. This is the first time these two teams will meet in the playoffs. Earlier this year in Week 2, Hammonton went down to Buena's home turf and won that game by a score of 27-0. They started that game with a huge drive early on, a time-consuming drive, and the key today for Buena will be ball control on the other end.
I think the most important play of this game, Ed, could be the coin toss for Buena today. They need to win the coin toss, get the ball, try to control the ball, and hopefully score, because it's going to be very tough for them to play catch-up to this very strong Hammonton team.
Well, in the eyes of many, it is a David versus Goliath matchup. The heavily favored Hammonton Blue Devils looking to move on to the Group 2 championship, and the Buena Chiefs looking to pull the upset. One of these teams will play for the Group 4 final championship in just 2 weeks. Stand by for the Buena Chiefs and the Hammonton Blue Devils. Coming up next, 0-0, Buena Chiefs set to kick off, and with the play-by-play in the first half, here's Tad Kosneski.
Thank you very much, Ed. Marcus Henderson in to kick off for Buena already. Their backs are going to be against the wall, kicking to very tough Hammonton High School. Will be taken by Brian Stass at his own 10-yard line. Stass across to the 20, to about the 25-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Hammonton. And let's take a look at them offensively here this afternoon. Hammonton on offense features the very highly touted fullback in Ron Dorsey, also Ryan DeRose, and wide receiver Brian Stass. We talked about the quarterback Paul Torres as well. He played in that game against Kingsway a few years ago in the championship. These guys are used to being in the playoffs as you look at their front line of Caputo, Templeton, Herman, Fido, and Amido. Back to pass with it is Torres. Looking, now he scrambles near side of the field, has some blockers in front, and he's covered on the play by Rich Dale. It'll be a loss of about 4. Now let's take a look at the Buena defense here, Ed. A little bit of a difference change there, starting things off.
Keon Davis, Cole, Torres, Morris, and Dale. They started with a 4-3 this year, but now they switched to the 50, and Keon Davis is the key. His speed on the outside rush makes a difference. That is their front 5. The linebackers, Greg Groover, and Charlie Galasso has had a fine season for the Chiefs. The secondary has Rich Dale and Dave Andrade at the corners. Safeties are Ron Benjamin, Marcus Henderson, and Tad, the secondary, certainly did their job on that play. 2-4, 2-1.
Here's Dorsey. He's met at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got back the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd down and 10.
Well, as we mentioned, it's still early, but this is a huge early play coming up. An 85-yard drive by the Blue Devils in Buena on their opening drive in their earlier meeting. What a lift it would be for the Chiefs to get a 3-and-out to get started here.
And offensively, this Hammonton team is a juggernaut, Ed. They average 44 points a game while only giving up 6. It's going to be 3rd down and 12. Passing this year, Torres is 46 of 70 for 720 yards, 5 TDs, 2 interceptions. Now he's going to keep it himself, and he's not going to get the first down. Beautiful coverage for the Chiefs. Leading the charge in there, Charles Galasso.
Well, one advantage you have when you have two teams that have faced each other once during the year, even if you come in as a heavy underdog, you've played them before. Now there's Torres again with a fake. Maybe the first time the Chiefs bite on that fake and drop back, but Buena read that very well. A strong statement to start the game by the Buena defense.
Dave Andrade and Ron Benjamin back to receive the kick at their own 45-yard line.
Formation for the Blue Devils.
Low snap, nice line drive kick. They make it a shot shot to bring this back. Andrades lets it go. Nobody touches it. A bit of a mistake, and it'll be down at about the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 now for Buena as we'll take a look at their offense in this game. And of course, Ed, led by Keon Davis.
Talented running back for the Chiefs. He is the man. He was shut down by Hammonton last game. He and Rasheen Benjamin. Jeff Mazzoni, the quarterback, faced a lot of pressure last time these two teams faced each other. Threw 3 interceptions. Has played well lately, however. Graff and the tall Jason Myers, very talented wide receivers. Good offensive line for the Buena Chiefs. Torres, Bailone, Mazzoni, Marsh, and Steve Morris.
So 1st and 10 for the Buena Chiefs from their own 20-yard line. They did their job defensively that first set of downs. Far side of the field, this is Andrades. Andrades tries to get around the corner. Lucky to get the line of scrimmage where he's tackled by Paul Torres.
Well, the Chiefs getting listed as a 2-back formation, but they come out with a little bit of a change there as they put Andrades in there. And the Chiefs are deep in the backfield. Dave Andrades will get some time. Tony Bailone will run the football. Ron Benjamin will run the football. Buena has plenty of weapons to go to. The problem is this Hammonton defense.
And we'll take a look at this Hammonton defense up there. Silvestri, Herman, Caputa, Newton, and Peretti. And Ed, this defense has only given up 6 points a game. See, so the rest of the defense there for Hammonton. 2nd down play, near side of the field. This is Rich Dale. Dale goes nowhere. Good tackle on the play by Anthony Amedio.
Take a look at the rest of that defense. Amedio, you just mentioned, called his number 10. There he is. The other linebacker, Greg Parker, in this 50 set. Stas and DeRose, Torres, and Longo. That's your secondary, which also makes up most of the offensive weapons for Hammonton. A very talented secondary as well.
So Dale loses 2. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 13 for Buena. Trying to get their first positive gain of the afternoon. Keon Davis in the backfield with Rich Dale. Mazzoni over center. He is back. The pressure's on. Might have eluded a face mask there. Cuts it up the field. Good carry there. Gets about 3 or 4 yards shy of the 1st down, and the punt team should come on the field.
Well, Rob Peretti applied the pressure, and he had a monster game against the Buena earlier in the year. Peretti had 3 sacks in the game against the Chiefs and was consistently in the backfield. Here he is again, number 88. Just beat his man around the corner, was able to get in almost unchallenged. Mazzoni did a nice job not to try and force something and make a mistake, although the Chiefs do have to punt. From the Buena standpoint, he didn't throw the interception either.
Jason Myers, the senior, into punt for Buena. High snap, little to the right. The pressure's on. He gets off a nice high kick. This will be Torres, going to let it bounce. And it'll be dying at about the 35-yard line. Good punt.
Well, so much talk about the weapons on this Hammonton offense and a good start by the Buena D, but Hammonton Blue Devils making their statement defensively. Very talented defense. Tad, we were looking at their stats during the week, and their defensive stats are as equally as impressive as their offensive numbers.
It's amazing. They're only giving up an average of 6 points a game, which is absolutely unbelievable. They've only given up 47 points, Hammonton, the whole year. 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Here's Dorsey through the tackles for a gain of about 5.
He is the man for this Hammonton Blue Devil team. He has been the man all year long. One of the best backs in South Jersey. A great combination of quickness and also power. He combines both, and that is what makes him as good as anybody in the region.
Dorsey averages 8.4 yards a carry, his longest run of 62, and has 22 touchdowns on the year. 2nd down and 5 for Hammonton. We'll call it 2nd and 6 as it's a long 5. Put the man in motion. Give it to the man in motion. Up the middle of the field. There, that's Stas. Stas is going to be about a yard or 2. We'll call it 2 yards shy of the 1st down.
Well, after Buena went to 1-3 when they got beat 35-0 at St. Joe's, Chuck Donahue and his staff decided, hey, we've got to go back and change some things. They started the year in a 4-3. They've switched to that 50, but in traditional Buena fashion, it's a fast 50 defense. When you have Keon Davis at the end, it provides a little bit more speed on the outside pass rush, and it has worked very effectively.
There you see the Hammonton coaching staff on the near sidelines. It'll be 3rd down and 2. This will usually be Dorsey territory. It is Dorsey. Dorsey for the 1st down, and a couple more tackled on the play by Keon Davis.
That's a good call that time by the Hammonton staff. The Chiefs sent 2 men in on the blitz. They lined them up, but they went straight up the middle. Hammonton runs that play to the off tackle on the left side, and with Dorsey there, combined with that left side of the line, there's just enough room for a first down.
And Ed, getting back to Hammonton's rushing game, they have rushed for 45 touchdowns this year. 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. A little bit of confusion in the backfield, but now they're set. Here's Dorsey. Dorsey now on the pitch with the Torres. Torres around the corner. Torres stepped out of bounds. That was so quick, Ed, they completely faked me out up here. What a pitch.
Or lack thereof in that case. Well, that's the thing about playing Hammonton. So many weapons offensively. They can throw the ball. So many people can run the ball, including their quarterback, Torres. Here it is again. Now watch Torres with the fake. 3-4 Chiefs you saw right there in that pile converged in, and getting to the outside was Torres. Outstanding play by Hammonton.
What a job by Torres to keep that one 1st and 10. This is DeRose. DeRose stacked up at the line, tackled by Dan Lavari, the junior, after a gain of about 4.
It's a great read there by Lavari, and also coming in on that play was Dave Andrades, and he does a nice job from his corner position, as does everybody in this Buena secondary, of being able to read the run and coming up and make the play again. It is speed. This is a different Buena team than the team that lost 27-0 earlier in the year to Hammonton.
2nd down and 6 upcoming. Now we're going to get an official timeout for an equipment check.
And Tad, we talked about it at the start. The longer this game goes on and the longer Buena continues to keep it competitive and hang in there, that's when two things can happen. All of a sudden, Hammonton is thinking, hey, we're the big overwhelming favorite. Suddenly we're in a dogfight. And the Chiefs start thinking, boy, forget about that game earlier in the year. We're right in this ball game. So the first quarter is the key today.
Here's DeRose behind Dorsey's playing, cut to the head. He's got open field in front. DeRose into the end zone. There is a penalty flag down, so this may come back. Penalty flag is down.
And it's in the area where we usually see holding, and now making a clip. This one is coming back. So Hammonton with the clip.
Oh, we'll get it back. Come on now.
And the Blue Devil fans up on their feet now denied, so a costly penalty right there.
DeRose would have went in from 35 yards out, but again, the penalty for clipping brings it back, and a big break in this game early on for Buena as we look at it again, Ed.
Keep an eye on the backfield right there. You might have caught it in the middle of the pile of your screen. And boy, not only a penalty, but a clipping penalty. That is a huge break for the Chiefs.
That's going to make it 2nd down, and we're going to call it about 25 from midfield. Time-wise in the first quarter, 5:14 to play in the first quarter. 2nd and 25 from midfield. Dorsey, the lone setback in the eye. They put a man in motion. That's DeRose. Now on the near side, this is Stas. Stas tackled from behind. Beautiful tackle by Steve Torres, the nose guard.
Good job, Robert.
Well, when Buena realigned on that defense, they put Steve Torres in the middle again. He is fast. This is not the biggest defensive front in the world, but they are so quick in pursuit of the football. That is a great open field tackle. And early on, the Chiefs are getting some tremendous one-on-one tackles against a very talented bunch of Blue Devil backs.
Let's go.
Hammonton now in Buena territory, 3rd down and long on the 47-yard line. 3rd and 19, we'll call it. Back to passes Torres. Decent amount of time. That's a man across the middle. Overthrows Ryan DeRose, who was open. 4th and long, and the punt team will be on the field.
Cover, cover, cover.
Well, Buena very happy again, and they dodged the bullet on the penalty, but again, the Chiefs come right back. DeRose was open. The problem is it was an opening in the zone, and coming in and converging very quickly for the Chiefs was Terry Graff. So if that ball isn't overthrown, he might be able to cut it over and knock it away. But once again, the Buena defense making the stand.
Dorsey in the punt. Andradas and Benjamin back to receive the punt. Dorsey a punt from his own 40. Nice high kick. This may go into the end zone. Takes a Hammonton bounce, but I believe momentum carries him in now. They're going to say down at the 1-yard line. What a defensive play there by Hammonton to down at the 1.
Well, we'll see how this affects this game, but one disadvantage Buena has had early on is this has been a game of field position. The field is tilted, and that is a huge, huge play. The Buena offense now has to make a statement here. They have to get something going. Have to, first of all, obviously get some breathing room, but they were shut down on their first possession. They've got to, again, as we talked about, keep the ball out of Hammonton's hands.
From their own 1-yard line, 1st and 10. A little over 4 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Now a flag stops play. A whistle actually stops play before the play even starts.
I talk about your backs against the wall. This is your backs against the wall against one of the best defenses in New Jersey.
It's going to be a false start against Buena. That'll put them back half the distance of the goal. That's their first penalty of the game.
There's not much distance to the goal left at this point. That was just a tremendous punt, too. And really, the Chiefs did the right thing. You have to let that go. And it bounced Hammonton's way, but a gorgeous punt. And again, we look back at this punt, and we'll see how much that makes a difference right here.
This is where you have to watch for the safety with that big front defensive line for Hammonton.
Wouldn't be surprised if they just give it to Keon Davis up the middle or off tackle here.
It is Davis up the middle. Davis maybe for a yard or two as he gets out to the 3-yard line.
He has been the man this year, Tad, and again, against Hammonton, everyone talked about the fact he didn't get to carry the ball that much. That's largely due to the fact that Hammonton, A, held the ball for a long time, and B, had a 21-0 lead at halftime. So really the Chiefs and Keon Davis were taken out of their game early on, so I'm sure he's been very anxious to get another crack at the Blue Devils.
Going to be 2nd down and 8 from their own 3-yard line. Again, time winding down the first quarter, 3:45 and counting.
Come on, D, get in there! Power!
This is Andrades up the middle. Lucky to get a yard on the play. Boy, great defense for Hammonton. Stopped that one up nicely.
Well, now that brings up a 3rd down, and again, what the Chiefs are going to have to do here is they're going to have to find a way to give some time to Jeff Mazzoni. That's something he did not have the first time they played Hammonton. And right now, Jeff Mazzoni doesn't have to throw the ball 40 yards. They just need something, give them a little breathing room, get the first down, because this is not the punting situation you want, even with a good punter like Myers.
Dale on the last carry. It's going to bring it 3rd down and 7. Keon Davis, the lone setback. A man in motion is Dale. They go up the middle to Andrades. Andrades almost around the corner, gets pushed ahead to the 10. He's close to the first down, but probably going to be about a yard short.
Boy, great effort right there. They call the quick draw, and Dave Andrade is one of those Buena running backs who just explodes in the hole. He's got tremendous quickness. He hits the hole very hard, and they just missed it. Obviously too deep in their own territory here. If you're in midfield and you're Chuck Donahue, maybe you take the gamble, but here, no decision whatsoever.
The way they listed on the chains on the far side, they need about a half a yard, and they are not going to go for it. As Skinhead said, you really can't blame him in this situation. Jason Myers in the punt. He'll be punting from his own goal line. Snap is high. Line drive kick, it's going to bounce. Near side of the field. Great field position for Hammonton as it's down at the 41, down on the play by Steve Torres, the nose guard. And Buena will give up possession of the ball to Hammonton, 1st and 10.
Again, we'd like to tell you about one of our great sponsors here on Jones Intercable, one of the sponsors that help make this playoff telecast possible. Buena Plumbing, they're located on Route 40 in Buena. They take care of all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Call them at 697-0700. Everybody at Buena Plumbing, big high school football fans, big Buena Chiefs fans. It's getting cold, folks. Time of the year, you have to take care of your heating, and don't forget about your cooling in the summer. Buena Plumbing on Route 40 in Buena.
Here's Dorsey up the middle, stacked up and stopped at the line. Boy, they did a good job there. Maybe for 5 yards in the carry, an impressive run. And boy, Hammonton is real confusing there as they hand off the ball. I'd imagine what it's like to be a linebacker on that.
And that's what happens when you have so many weapons. And again, the one advantage of the Chiefs as opposed to maybe Morristown or Deptford, if one of the teams in the other bracket was playing Hammonton, is Buena has seen this once before. They may not have been able to stop it, and they still may not yet today. But just seeing them once earlier in the season clearly makes a difference.
2nd down and 5. Man in motion is DeRose. They give it to DeRose. DeRose is going to be very close to the first down. Maybe about a yard shy. It's very close.
And I think it looks like Hammonton here is going back to the basics. They tried the long pass on 3rd down. Again, the problem here has been the tilted field right now, because Hammonton probably now in a situation, barring a major loss, where they're looking at 4-down territory.
3rd down and 2 upcoming for Hammonton. Still in the first quarter, no score here on Jones Intercable. Group 2 semifinal, Hammonton and Buena.
Let's go.
Dorsey going to get the first down, still on his feet, taken down about the 20-yard line, just shy of the 25. First down.
Boy, Dave Andrade has read that play beautifully, came up from his secondary position, almost made the play in the backfield, but very difficult to hit Ron Dorsey coming out of the backfield. Lunged in. By the time he got to Dorsey, Dorsey was going past him. He tried for the ankle tackle, was unable to come up with it.
From the 27-yard line, 1st and 10.
Load option too.
Near side of the field, this is DeRose. DeRose has some decent blocking in front. Real nice stick on the play for Buena out there to make the hit. Number 7, that's Terry Graff.
There's the speed right there, and that's tremendous pursuit by the Buena defense. They stayed at home, they read the play, and still a fine game by DeRose, but Buena's defense is bending. Again, the problem is field position is not in their favor.
And that is going to do it for action here in the first quarter. We have no score in the Group 2 semifinal game between Hammonton and Buena. Second quarter action here on Jones Intercable. Tack Kozaneski, Ed Benkin with you, and Hammonton driving the football, Ed.
And Blue Devils, with that punt, forcing Buena to punt it away, had the advantage. And when you shorten the field with this offense, it's going to be tough for any defense.
Here's Dorsey. Dorsey on a hit. Gains about 5 or 6. He is very close to the first down.
The Hammonton Blue Devils are noted for a lot of quick strikes, but at the same time, this is how they can wear down a team. 6 yards from Dorsey, 5 yards from DeRose. Now, they can play the ball control just as well, and they have worn down teams simply by the fact that they hold the ball as long as they can. They did the same thing down at Buena earlier in the year.
It is enough for the first down. 1st and 10 at the 15. Dorsey, right side. Dorsey for 8 or 9 yards for his tackle by Rich Dale.
That's a real nice surge on that side of the line by the Blue Devils. They really were able to clear open a lot of space. And really the Hammonton line on the replay. Check this right side again. Excellent kick-out block outside by Andrew Fado. And he opened up the hole for Dorsey to get through. All he needs is a little bit of room, and then Ron Dorsey creates the rest of his opening.
Dorsey now 7 carries for 36 yards. Give it to Dorsey again. Dorsey gets the first down inside the 5 and down at the 3.
That time they go right up the middle with the belly, and again, it's the center, Rob Templeton, throwing the lead block. This is basic power football here, and it is working very effectively. And this Buena Chiefs defense has looked very strong early on, but again, when Hammonton only has to go 40 yards as opposed to going 80 yards, it makes all the difference in the world.
We'll keep an eye on Dorsey as they're in tight. They give it to Dorsey. Dorsey into the end zone. Ron Dorsey now 24 touchdowns on the year.
Well, give the Blue Devils credit. First couple of times offensively, they went for the home run play a couple of times. Didn't come up with it. Buena did a nice job early on of stuffing their early runs. This time they just went back to the basics. Here it is again. Nothing real fancy. Off tackle to the right side. And boy, with that line and then with Ron Dorsey, it is difficult.
Matt Longo, extra point-wise this year, 32 of 39 with the left foot. It is long enough, and it is good. So Buena trails Hammonton with 10:52 to play here in the first half. 7-0 Hammonton.
Well, now it's up to the Chiefs offense to respond. They've only had 2 possessions. The first one, they went 3 and out. The second one was also a 3 and out, and more importantly, that second one was back near their own goal line. Tad, the play of that drive wasn't Dorsey's run. It was Dorsey's punt that put Buena back on their 1. Buena unable to pick up the first down, and Hammonton, if you're going to give them field position at the 40-yard line all day, it's going to be a long afternoon.
And it's a shame, too. It's a game of inches, as we've talked about in past games here in Jones Intercable Ed. They had that 4th down, half the length of football. Maybe with a little break, they get that first down. Maybe they can move down the field, but you just can't make any mistakes against this Hammonton team.
This is a good Cape Atlantic rivalry, and Tad, the last time Hammonton failed to come up with a victory was a game we had 4 years ago that you and I were at back in '92. A great game down in Buena. Chiefs actually led at halftime. Hammonton drove in the closing moment, got a touchdown and a 2 to force the tie and essentially give them the division title.
As the band looks on, Hammonton happy at this moment. They lead, I should say, in this game 7-0. Longo with a beautiful deep kick, but a flag stops play. Actually, they may not have called this to go into play.
That's what it probably is. There isn't a flag on the field right now. And This is a great atmosphere for football down here in Hammonton. These fans are used to winning. Of course, 2 years ago, the classic here between Hammonton and Kingsway, which you were at for the Group 2 championship. But this is just one of the great Group 2 programs in South Jersey.
It's amazing, too. At overall in the school's history, they're 9-11 in the playoffs, but they have won 4 out of their last 5. And when they've lost a playoff game, every time the team they lost to went on to win the title.
And that certainly tells you something with some of the teams they have played and lost to. Buena, of course, last time they were in the playoffs was '93, a first-round loss to Salem, a first-round loss to Sterling in '92. Of course, the Chiefs had that unbeaten 1988 season, which they took the Group 2 championship.
Again, no penalty on the play. Referee wants to bring it back in. Now a little bit of indecision near side of the field with it. This is Andradas. Andradas around the corner. He has a shot. He's got one man that can catch him. It's Torres. Torres takes him out the 40. A return, of 45 yards. Wow.
Back up.
That'll get you better field position in a hurry. And what was amazing about that is there was a bit of confusion. And maybe the confusion right here caused a little bit of over-pursuing and then a great move by Andrades. That speed right there, you can't coach that. But most of the Blue Devils had come up. Andrades really only had one man to beat, Stas. When he got around him, he was able to get the clear marker down the left side.
Yeah, that was the kicker, Ed. Just played center field and nailed him. 1st and 10 now for Buena in Hammonton territory.
Well, special teams clearly make a difference. It made a difference to set up the first Hammonton touchdown. And now, finally, Buena can come out and say, okay, we've got some room to operate right now. They've got good field position.
Referees had to come down side of the field, all kinds of wires for coaches and broadcasters down the side. They're clearing it up down on the side of the field. So we've now had our impact on the game, Ed.
Well, again, now it is up to the Buena offense to make a statement here. They have a great opportunity after getting the touchdown from Hammonton scored against them to really be able to do something with the football in Hammonton territory. And this offensive line is going against one of the best defensive lines, if not the best in Group 2. And this is how you win playoff games, is you start to take it up a little bit of a notch. And in Buena's case, everyone was saying it during the week that they would have to play a near-perfect football game. And really, they have hung in there early on so far against a very strong Hammonton team.
And I think if you talk to their coaching staff before the game and you said to them, look, with 10:40 to go until half, you're trailing 7-0, they say, yeah, we'll take that with the chance to score here in the ball in Hammonton territory. And again, they're still working on the near sideline.
Let's not forget one other element, too, in this game. 2 outstanding coaches. Pete Lancetta, of course, nothing but success since taking over here at Hammonton. And I don't care what the odds are. I don't care what the records are. Anytime Chuck Donahue was coaching a team, you could never count a team out going into a playoff game.
An interesting side note, too, that Coach said Lancetta played.
This is, without a doubt, a student versus teacher matchup. Coach Lancetta was reminiscing about a playoff game he had where they struggled a bit against Bishop Eustace, and that time Coach Donahue was his coach at St. Joe's. I'm sure there's some happier memories too as well. Coach Donahue, of course, coaching at Haddon Heights, St. Joe's, and at Buena.
Let's see if Buena can make a game of it. 1st and 10 from the 41. Good back up the field by Davis. He has stacked up the entire defense there, led by Brian Cipollina, the junior.
Good job by him. And Rob Peretti as well. Here it is again, and he just runs into a wall.
Well, you could call about 5 guys' numbers defensively on that one, Ed.
Brian Cipollina, as you mentioned, got that surge in first. And the Blue Devils are deep on that front 5. They can rotate several different players in. And when you're playing a team that maybe doesn't have as many players, it obviously is going to wear you down as the game goes on.
2nd down and 10. They were lucky to get back the original line of scrimmage.
Tangled up here.
Give it to Dave. Now they're going to pitch it now. It's a fumble. It's still loose. Silvestri picks it up for Hammonton, and they'll take it at the 35, 1st and 10.
Here it is again. Ugly play for the start, read beautifully by the Hammonton defense. Greg Parker, the linebacker, made the hit. And that play looked ill-timed for the start. The pitch came late, and we talked about not making mistakes. That's the first one, and that could be a big one.
First attempted pitch in the game for Buena, and it's a disaster. 1st and 10 for Hammonton at the 35. Here's DeRose behind Dorsey's block. 5-yard gain as he makes it out to the 30.
This is where you probably won't see Hammonton go for that home run ball again. This is where they will stick to what just got them that first touchdown. They're going to keep it on the ground here, just try and control the clock with, as you see, 9:33 remaining in this first half. But give credit to the Hammonton defense on that play because they read it very well, and for a large defensive line, they have tremendous quickness as well.
Hammonton leading at 7-0. They have never trailed this season. 2nd down and 5. Dorsey close to the first down, about a half-yard shy. He's tackling the play by Dan Lavari.
You ready?
Buena's going to have to come up strong here again. I think another touchdown here, though it's still early in the game, to make it 14-0, could put Buena in an insurmountable hole.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to...
Dorsey versus Buena in his first appearance had 21 carries, 132 yards, and a touchdown. 3rd down and 1. Could be 2-down territory. Here's Dorsey. Dorsey for the first down, finds a seam. Tackled at the 15-yard line by Keon Davis.
Back to the basics. Dorsey off tackle right. And he had a hole to go through, and he made the rest right here. Check this out again on the right side. Good lead block, too, by Brian Stoss, the wingback. He came up to a fine lead block to clear the path.
1st and 10 for Hammonton at the 15-yard line. Here's DeRose behind Dorsey. Can get around the corner. Head down, pushed out of bounds about the 3. Very close to a first down.
Well, they go off tackle right, they go the belly play, and then they try a little misdirection over to the left side on the sweep. Good call again by the coaching staff, and right now this Hammonton offensive line is taking over this football game.
It is enough for first down, Ed. It'll be 1st and goal at the 4. Time on the clock showing 8:10. Dorsey already with the touchdown in this game, has 23 on the year. They give it to Dorsey. Dorsey stopped at the line of scrimmage. In there was Ron Benjamin. Pretty good coverage there by Buena on that one, Ed.
Yeah, Ron Benjamin made the tackle, but the senior Charlie Galasso has had an outstanding year. Linebacker really made that play. He read that very well. He came in, got penetration in the backfield, and caused the runner to trip up a little bit before Benjamin could come in.
2nd and goal from about the 1.5. Going to give it to Dorsey. Dorsey into the end zone for his 24th touchdown of the year. Hammonton leads it 13-0.
Maybe no team in South Jersey makes you pay for your mistakes more than this Hammonton team. And Ron Dorsey would not go down even after he got in the end zone as Terry Graff found himself in a size mismatch.
13-0 is your score. The extra point try by Longo. He's 33 of 40 now on the year. Trying to put him up 14-0. Hold will be taken by Torres. Torres holds it. The kick is long enough. The kick is good. So Hammonton, with 7:39 to play in the first half, takes the lead 14-0.
Early on, Buena had to be very happy with the fact that defensively they had made a stand and kept it a 0-0 game after 1 quarter, but the punt to put them in their own territory would set up Hammonton's first touchdown. Then that disastrous option pitch, which I have the feeling has just been crossed out of the Buena offensive playbook, sets up their second touchdown. So Chiefs right now are going to have to come up with something, maybe another big special teams play to set them up.
And you're kind of looking at the same situations when these two teams met the first time. And Buena's going to have to pass. And in that game, Mazzoni was 6 of 13, 73 yards, 5 sacks, and was intercepted 3 times. He's going to have to step it up now.
The one thing though is I agree that Buena's going to have to pass, but I think on this drive right now they're not going to totally abandon the game plan as of yet. Yes, it's 14-0, and yes, they're going to need a strike very soon, but they are probably at this point right now going to stick with the game plan. Last time it was 21-0 at halftime. They came out of the game plan in the second half, and I don't think they're ready to wave the white flag yet. I think you'll see this team, as far as their offensive game plan, try and get Keon Davis on track, maybe try some misdirection to Andrade. We saw Dale in the game as well.
The first time these two teams met, Buena had a very difficult time running the ball. Hammonton is big, Ed. They are really big.
And fast as well. Let's definitely not forget that.
Longo with the line drive kicked. This is Benjamin. Benjamin up the middle of the field. Across the 30, the 35, and down at the 39-yard line, where he's tackled on the play by Robert Lolio.
Well, again, decent field position here for Buena, but they'll have to try something different. They tried to pitch that time, and their last possession, of course, they're turned into disaster. But right now, it's up to the Chiefs and the offensive coaching staff to come up with something a little different. Very difficult against this defense.
7:31 to play in the first half. Buena trailing at 14-0. Here's Davis. Davis stacked up with the line, maybe a gain of 2 or 3. He's covered on the play by Greg Silvestri.
Well, this is a running back, Keon Davis, who has had some outstanding games for the Buena Chiefs this year. One of them that was not an outstanding game, as you mentioned, was Hammonton. But Davis is a good combination of size and speed. Not as fast as a Ron Dorsey, but someone with the quickness when he does get a little opening, hits the holes as well as anybody.
Davis in this game, 3 carries for 4 yards. 2nd down and 8. Here's Davis behind Dale's block. Good tackle there by Greg Silvestri. It's a gain of about 2.
Boy, this Hammonton defense is so well coached, and we've seen early on how Buena was able to read the plays. Hammonton doing the same thing right now, and they're doing an outstanding job. Buena staying in their game plan so far, but Hammonton has been able to read everything. They've tried the belly, they've tried off tackle, they've tried a sweep, and the Blue Devils defense has found the answer. They're making the difference right now.
It's going to be 3rd down and 6. Torres has only attempted 1 pass in this game. It was incomplete. He's 0 for 1. Wide out to the far side of the field is Jason Miles. You look at Coach Lancet on the near sideline. The pass is Mazzoni. Mazzoni goes down. Mazzoni is sacked for the first time in this game, and the punt team will have to come on.
Good job, baby. Good pressure.
So Hammonton picking up the sack, and that was the problem the last time they played. And really nothing Jeff Mazzoni can do because he had absolutely no time in the pocket. If Hammonton's pass rush continues, it's going to be a very long afternoon again for Mr. Mazzoni.
5:40 and counting to play in the first half. There you see the men back to receive Torres. Line drive kick, near side of the field. Not very far, but it does take a Buena bounce. And it'll be down at about the 34-yard line by Matt Mazzoni. 1st and 10 Hammonton. And if you're Buena here, Ed, you can't afford to give up another touchdown.
And this is huge right now. The Chiefs have to find a way to stop Hammonton. This is the ball game right here. As you mentioned, it's 14-0 with 5:26 to go. The Buena Chiefs must keep Hammonton off the scoreboard the rest of the half. And if you have to believe, if you're Hammonton and you're going to score, they're going to have a drive of about 5 minutes to take up much of this half. So this is the ball game on this drive.
Dorsey's the lone setback in the backfield. Back to pass, near side, nice catch on the play by Stas. Stas for the first down, pushed out of bounds at midfield, gain of 15.
Again, so many wrinkles for Hammonton, so many different things they can do offensively. Here it is again. They come out with the pass on 1st down, and they throw it to the wingback, Brian Stas. They have Matt Longo, the talented receiver, but that play designed for Stas to the outside, and he was wide open.
1st and 10 for Hammonton, just beyond the midfield line. Still a lot of time to play here in the first half, 5:19. Dorsey and DeRose in the backfield. This is DeRose behind Dorsey's block. DeRose almost able to get around the corner. Nice tackle there made by Terry Graff. It's a gain of about 5.
Terry Graff has made some fine plays defensively in this half, and with this Hammonton offensive line, the key to Buena's defensive success has to be their speed. When they go to the outside, the Chiefs, purely with speed right, they're able to turn what could have been a long gain into about a 4 or 5 yard gain.
2nd down at 6. Dorsey again the lone setback, back to pass, keeping it himself and going up with Torres. He'll be about 3 yards shy of the first down. Tackled on the play by Matt Cole.
Chiefs sent a bit of a blitz in defensively, and they managed to get some pressure on Torres, but Torres, such an experienced quarterback back there. Right away, he read he was about to go down in the pocket and turn what would have been a sack into a substantial gain.
He's going to leave it 3rd and 2 from the 41-yard line. There you see the distance they need for the first down. Dorsey gets the first down. Around the right corner. Has some speed. Still on his feet. Pulled out of bounds. Almost out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. That's a gain of 25 for Dorsey.
Good job.
Well, they clear a pass for the bus. Plenty of room for Dorsey right there. And the Buena secondary that time was caught pursuing inside. Cutting in that time was Graff and Dale. They went in, Dorsey went out, and that's why it's a long game. Big play right there by Dorsey.
3:58 and counting here in the first half. 1st and 10 for Hammonton. Ball just inside the 10-yard line. This will be 1st and I guess goal, but technically it's at the 10-yard line. Far side of the field, this is Stas. Stas gets a blocker in front, slips down. Going to make it inside the 10, barely to the 9.
Well, again, he didn't make that tackle, but Rich Dale made that play. Because Stas was trying to get to the left side, and Dale was able to fight off his blocker. He didn't get in for the tackle, but he pushed him back enough that he caused the runner to adjust, and DeRose had to cut back into traffic.
I believe it's 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line.
Ryan, 22, Ryan!
Back to pass now is Torres. Has a man in the end zone, gets the pass off for the touchdown. Robert Peretti. For Peretti, that's his first touchdown of the year.
Coach Morrison, you got somebody on? Yeah, okay.
Rob Peretti made a big impact defensively against Buena in the earlier meeting, and now he does it offensively. This is just a well-executed play. Torres rolling out, man is wide open. Easy touchdown for Peretti, and the key there, Torres kept his cool, throwing on the run. Just a well-executed play. This Hammonton team, good as advertised early on.
Great play calling. Their blocking is very impressive. Longo again for the extra point. 2 for 2 on the day. He is 34 now for 41 on the year. This one is good. Hammonton continues rolling with 3:04 to play in the first half. They lead it 21-0.
That could be the finishing touch already. I know it's still the first half, but that was a huge touchdown for Hammonton. And now the Buena Chiefs, who found themselves scoreless at the end of one quarter, late in the half here, find themselves down by 3 touchdowns. And 2-4, 2-1, they offer a full line of domestic and import ceramic tile. Direct import from Spain, Italy, and Brazil. They are the best in the business. Dave Orlandini, I'd say he's a big Buena sports fan.
Big-time player down there.
Right. So he gets ready for basketball season. Of course, the head coach of the Buena basketball team, seeing his team in a couple of months. Orlandini Tile Supplies, again in Richland, New Jersey, open Monday through Friday. Give them a call at 697-2421, located on Route 40 in Richland.
Longo to take the line drive kickoff, hits off a Buena player. Now they're bringing up the near side of the field. This is Rasheem Benjamin. Gets to about the 29-yard line where Buena will take over 1st and 10. It's funny about Orlandini. I played against him. I should say I got in garbage time when he was still in the game when they thumped our Paul 6 team. He was one heck of a basketball player.
I would have loved to have seen that matchup. In fact, Tad, maybe we can arrange a pay-per-view event and a rematch of you and Coach Orlandini. Of course, he went on to a fairly decent college career at Princeton University.
He'd have to spot me maybe 30 points if we're playing to 40, and I might still have a shot.
But with the smooth jumper, Tad, I think you might be able to keep it close.
Under 3 minutes to play in the first half, 1st and 10.
There we go.
Stacked up at the line on the carry by Davis. That's Peretti there. Peretti doing a great job defensively.
He's been everywhere on both sides of the ball today, and Coach Lancetta has to be very happy with what he is seeing out of his defense just as well as their offense. And when you consider early on they had the clipping penalty which took away a touchdown. The play that really changed the game, yes, there was the bad pitch, but before that, the punt down to the 1-yard line. What a difference that made. That really got Hammonton rolling.
2nd down and 10. Clock continues to run. Buena needs a big play. Back to pass. Mazzoni. Oh, what a hit. What a big-time hit. Knocked the ball away. It was in the hands of the receiver. Matt Longo tattooed Jason Myers.
Jason Myers is 6'4", but ouch.
Wow.
That is a big-time hit, and when you think of Matt Longo, you think of his playing the secondary, and you think of his wide receiving prowess, but that is a major league hit again. He put on the top wide receiver of this Buena offense.
We talked about Hammonton, how strong they are in the 90s. As a team, they are 62-8-2. In the regular season, 56-4-2. Unbelievable. 3rd and 10. Whistle blows, flags fly. Could be delay a game.
This will be something going against Buena here, I'm sure.
Referee today, Al Shoup, will make the call.
There's a little bit of a delay after Myers got hit. He went to the bench, and we get the illegal procedure penalty, and that kind of slowed things down a little bit for a moment. Then the Chiefs looked up, they realized they had to rush to get the playoff, and for a cable station, a rights fee to be able to produce a playoff game, so our sponsors really made a difference in bringing this game to your living room today.
And without them, we wouldn't be able to be out here to bring you this game, and just a great job for Buena to get to this game. Let's see if they can get some points on the board. 3rd and 15. Pressure's really going to be on their quarterback, Mazzoni.
You got help from Greg.
Mazzoni is back. Gets it across the middle. Has a man there. Beautiful catch on the play by Benjamin. He's going to get the first down, Ed, and a beautiful play. Tackle made by Anthony Amidio.
And the key to that play, time for Jeff Mazzoni. Watch the replay. Look at the time he has in the pocket and delivers a strike, and an excellent second effort, because when Benjamin catches that, he's not in first down territory. The second effort is enough. If they give Jeff Mazzoni time, he can move a football team down the field.
And it almost looked like Hammonton's in their prevent defense, Ed, with the time winding down. 1:51 to play here in the first half. It'll be 1st and 10. Here goes Dale. Dale, far side of the field, just tripped up, and he's shy of midfield. Otherwise, that might have gone a little bit further.
Well, as you mentioned, Tad, Hammonton back a bit in a prevent, and they go with the sweep, which was a good call to Dale, using the far side of the field with the ball, and that last play lined up on the near hash mark. They had more room to run, and as you mentioned, one trip away from maybe breaking one down the field.
2nd down and 2 from their own 48. They need to get across midfield. Time ticking away here in the first half. Davis gets the first down at the 46-yard line. They may want to think about possibly spending a timeout, Ed, but it looks like they're going to hurry it up.
Well, they're going to move the chains here right now, and again, with time ticking down, Buena's already burned one timeout in this half. Now the clock winds again, but they take a moment to move the chains, and now the Chiefs, probably with a completion or a play inbounds here, will stop the clock.
Under a minute to play, first half, 21-0 Hammonton. Here's Mazzoni, screen pass off, nice catch by Andrades. Andrades out of bounds at about the 38, maybe a yard shy of the first down.
And that time Hammonton went back to their base defense. After giving up a couple of long plays, they went back to their original 50 set, but a good call again with the screen, and more importantly, a screen to the outside, so the Chiefs still have 2 timeouts remaining. An impressive drive going on right now by Buena, and to get back in this game, anything right before the half would be a huge lift for this football team.
Clock frozen with 48 seconds to play in the first half. It'll be 2nd down. We'll call it 4 from the 37-yard line. It's actually a short 4. Back the pass is Mazzoni. Gets it off. Caught on the far side. Myers catches it for a complete pass and a first down.
After getting smacked earlier, Myers comes right back, and that's his height right there at 6'4". The quarterback, one of the quarterbacks of this team last year, now exclusively at his natural position, wide receiver, and the hit put him out of bounds. So again, the clock stops, and Buena with a very impressive drive here.
Thus far passing, Ed, Mazzoni 3 for 5, 35 yards, 1st and 10. Keon Davis up the middle. Davis maybe 5 yards on the carries. The linebacker in there on the stop, Anthony Amidio. Timeout, Buena.
Well, not a bad gamble right there. People say, why are you running up the middle with the clock winding down? They've thrown, they've swept to the outside. That last pass, good job by Mazzoni to get it off, but there was pressure. So the coaching staff thinks, hey, let's try the belly, try and get the trap with our best running back. But the key so far for this Hammonton defense is they have been able to shut down Keon Davis. They've been able to get him right near the line of scrimmage. He's had 2 yards, 3 yards here, but that's been it.
And we have some other teams in the playoffs playing today, Ed, here in Jones Intercable Viewing Land.
There is a huge game going down at Ocean City right now between Washington Township and Ocean City. And again, thanks to our good friends at Suburban Cable, you will be able to see that game immediately following this game. And boy, Tad, the Washington Township Minutemen were another team that didn't know until that Saturday that they were going to be in the postseason. They got in. What's the reward? They get a trip down the shore, although it's a little colder, of course, out in November. But a lot of people believe the winner of that game is going to move on to face Shawnee. And whether it's Ocean City and Shawnee or Washington Township Shawnee, it should be a classic of the Group 4 final.
Also, don't forget some viewers in our area. St. Joe's High School had also in action today.
St. Joe's has another game, I believe, a game down here next week. Oh, of course they do. That will be a great one. St. Joe's Hammonton on Thanksgiving weekend for the division title.
2nd and 8. Mazzoni back, going deep down the sideline. Man, there, great coverage, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Matt Longo. Longo near side of the field. Has some blockers in front. Down the sidelines, Longo finally brought down at the 45. Great job on the interception by Matt Longo.
Tad, either Mazzoni lost that ball or he was hit, but that ball came up like a wounded duck. Here it is again. And Mazzoni, that was just a bad throw. Didn't get hit. Might have lost it as he threw it up in the air, but...
And Ed, that is the 3rd interception Longo has against Buena this year.
That was just a bad throw. It looked like he got loose somehow when he threw it. It looked like he tried to put a little touch, a little float on the football, and it didn't float.
19 seconds to play in the first half. They split the wideouts. Dorsey the lone setback. Quick out near side of the field. This is Stas. Stas gets out of bounds close to the first down marker.
Hammonton right now in a position where they were just 2 months ago down on Buena's home field. 21-0 going into halftime. And boy, the Chiefs were finally able to move the football. Looked impressive offensively, and they had confidence all week that they would be able to move the football. They did, but another turnover, 2 turnovers in this first half.
14 seconds to play in the first half. Hammonton unofficially with all their timeouts remaining. They lead at 21-0.
Let's go, let's go.
Back to pass, they fake it. It's a hitch and go, near side of the field. Pass intended for Stas. Stas had it and dropped it. What a pass on the play by Torres. Stas probably should have held it.
That was a great pass by Torres. And Benjamin, it looked like, had good coverage, had a hand in there on the football. I'm not sure if Stas just lost that in the sun or Torres just put her right in the numbers, however you want to look at it. That was an excellent pass by Torres. And now Hammonton here taking a timeout. And Tad, the winner of this game is going to get either Morristown or Deptford. Here it is again. Let's take a look at this play again first. Look at this throw right on the numbers. Wow. Simultaneous wow.
Good coverage, Ed, but again, that's a catchable ball. It was right there.
I think maybe what might have caused him to drop the football is Benjamin's coverage. He didn't get his hand on the football, but maybe his coverage kind of blocked the view of the ball coming in for Stas. I think that was the difference. But Morristown or Deptford awaits the winner, and Morristown, of course, they're very excited. Their first playoff game in quite some time. And then there are those Deptford Spartans, and they've been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team all year, Tad. But I think a lot of people would like to see Kyle Jenkins try and take on a Hammonton team for the Group 2 championship.
It would be a very interesting game no matter what team comes up here, Ed. But this Hammonton team, boy, they're as tough of a team as you're going to see. I don't care if you're talking Group 3, 4, whatever. These Hammonton players, they can play the game.
Very well coached.
Excellently coached. 7 seconds to play. 2 wideouts to the far side of the field. Pro set in the backfield. Back to passes Torres, rolling near side. Gets the pass off, throws it away. 1 second remaining to be played here in the first half.
Well, Chiefs right there decide not to go back in their prevent as much, and they sent a rush in on Torres. They don't want to give him a chance after that last play to get one up in the air. Rich Marsh was the last one in there, and Torres knew he had nothing going. Instead of risking an interception, a possible return, throws it away, gives him one more chance to go deep.
Barring defensive penalty, this will be the last play of the first half. 21-0, Hammonton with the lead. They have it on their own 46, and a pretty good arm by Torres if they elect to go trips and throw one up. 2 wideouts to the far side. DeRose the far wide out. Going to hand it off now. This is Stas. Stas stacked up at the line, maybe for a yard. Danton Lavari on the hit, but that is going to do it for action here in the first half from Hammonton.
Ed Benkin, Tad Kazaneski back here at Hammonton, getting ready for the start of second half action between the Hammonton Blue Devils and the Buena Chiefs in the Group 2 playoffs. All Hammonton in the first half as they lead 21-0.
And score early, that was the key to them. But Hammonton has a terrific football team this year and so many weapons and a lot of things to defend. So, and they're getting a taste of that today.
Couldn't agree with them more, Ed. This Hammonton team is as impressive a team as we've seen this year on Jones Intercable. Great blocking, great team, and when they have to pass, the passes are right there. Amazing.
So we will get set for the start of second half action. Dave, if you'd be kind to just stay with us for a couple moments while we talk about another game coming up. But let us get underway in the second half as Longo kicks off and Benjamin drops it, and it goes out of bounds. Dave, football season's winding down here. Of course, Tad and I will be at Buena for Buena St. Augustine. You and I got the turkey dinner ready. I think we'll get a little early start. We'll be down at Overbrook for Overbrook Edgewood. And I get the feeling the Overbrook Rams will not be in the best of moods for that football game.
Well, I think they're going to be a little bit hungry after skipping the playoffs or missing the playoffs with that last loss. Hey, look, they got something to play for now. And Turkey Day is always a special game for a lot of the kids and a lot of people in that area. So I'm sure they're going to come out a little bit hungrier than they may have if they were in the playoffs.
Buena Chiefs going to work from the 24-yard line, trailing 21-0. First down and 10 as Jeff Mazzoni goes over center. Quick hitter to Keon Davis. Good, strong running as he picks up the first down. Well, Dave, we'd like to thank you for coming up. One other thing, too, I know you don't live too far away from Overbrook. Any chance we can get a little start on the Thanksgiving dinner? Think you can send some food out for us?
Yeah, well, I'll be up at 5:30 with the newborn, so I'll have plenty of time to cook for you guys.
Well, Dave, hey, great to see you out here again, and we'll see you on Turkey Day.
Thanks, guys.
Dave Savo, our other analyst here at Jones Intercable, joining us here in this second half of South Jersey Group 2 playoff football. Keon Davis with a strong run, and the Chiefs able to get the first down. This is Keon Davis again, and this time he runs into a stack of Blue Devils. Mark Herman leading the charge, and it'll be second down. So Buena getting the quick first down here on Keon Davis, and Tad, the score and the situation is eerily similar to the one we had back in Buena 2 months ago.
Yeah, the final score there was 27-0. We're looking at 21-0 now, and good sign that Davis said in his first carry got the 10 yards in the first down. That was his biggest carry of the game thus far. Davis, Ed, has 9 carries for 27 yards. He's really got to get himself going.
From the 38-yard line, second down and 7 for the Buena Chiefs, trailing 21-0. Zoni again with the quick hitter up the middle. Not much room as the Hammonton defense is quick it again. And not much room for the running back as they unpile the pile there. He disappeared rather quickly, and that was Bylone getting his first carry of the game. It'll be a third down.
Well, again, you just got to take it step at a time, play at a time, Ed. You know, you can't go too nuts against this Hammonton defense. I'm just amazed looking at some of this front-line defenders for Hammonton. Robert Peretti is a monster, number 88. He's lining up at the far defensive end. He's in the right corner of your screen. He towers over everybody.
From the 40-yard line, third down and 5 for the Buena Chiefs. Hammonton showing blitz, and Mazzoni with the fake to the outside, gets away nicely, picks up the first down as he somersaulted at midfield. James Newton flipped him up, but the Chiefs get the first down, and boy, it's a good thing Mazzoni landed on his feet.
I hope his parents have insurance, too, after this one. There you see the blitz coming on the left side of the offensive line. They get around the blitz. Now watch this flip. Boom, right on the back of the neck. And that's a first down. That's a big play for Buena thus far in this game.
So the Chiefs starting off with a nice drive here to start the second half. Hammonton's defense dominated in the first half, but a good start here by the Chiefs. First and 10 from the 49-yard line. Hammonton showing blitz again, and this time Mazzoni on the keeper again. Nice run by Mazzoni. Surges his way ahead. Good hard running for the first down.
Mazzoni ran right over Matt Longo. Matt Longo was there to make the hit. Back-to-back first downs in the play. Boy, Mazzoni looking like Barry Sanders out there. Watch him run right over number 22, Longo. He's going to keep it around the outside. Here comes Longo right there. Runs right over him, right by him. 5 more for the first down.
Had to try and get by Peretti, too, which is certainly no easy task. So from the 40-yard line, just inside the 40, as you see, 1st and 10 for the Chiefs, trailing 21-0. Now they set up with Davis and Andrades in the backfield.
One man left.
Keon Davis plowing his way ahead, and that'll be another substantial gain. And Keon Davis looks like a different back this second half so far.
I don't know what Coach said to him at halftime, but it almost looks like now they're looking after the hit, Ed, to keep moving. In the first half, they were just kind of hitting, holding the ball, and going down. That time, Davis got hit. He kept going. He gains 8. And boy, if they can get down the field here, Ed, and put something on the board, it's going to put at least a little pressure, we'll say, on Hammonton.
From the 32-yard line, 2nd down and 2 for the Chiefs. Quick hitter again to Keon Davis, gets a good hole and a 1st down. Boy, kudos to that Buena offensive line, as Davis had a lot of room to run through.
He had a giant hole in the left side of that offensive line. If he hit a little bit quicker, Ed, he might have been able to get more down the field, but that'll come more with the experience. Again, he's only a sophomore in this game, and boy, that's their 3rd straight 1st down, Ed. I mean, all of a sudden, it's like they turned on a switch and started the offense.
This is a very impressive drive by Buena. Now, when they were down 21-0 in the last game, they kind of abandoned the game plan, went to strictly a passing situation, but not the case here. And a couple of quarterback keepers by Mazzoni have really set the tempo for this drive. From the 28-yard line, 1st and 10 for Buena. And now a penalty flag comes down, and this looks like it'll go against the Chiefs. We'll see, unless somebody was lined up offside, and that is what I believe we're going to get here.
It came from the linesman on the side. There you see Mr. Shoup. It's against Hammonton, Ed. That's only their 2nd penalty for 20 yards.
Let's go, D.
Pete Lansetto looking on, and boy, again, after such an impressive first half, everything seemed to be in Hammonton's favor, and they still have the 21-0 lead, but this is a strong drive to start this half by the Buena Chiefs.
1st and 5 makes for an interesting play call, too, for Coach Donahue. Do you stay with what you're doing, or do you attempt to put one up?
From the 23-yard line, 1st and 5 for the Chiefs. Handoff to the outside to Andrades, gets around for the 1st down and more. Dave Andrades cutting near inside the 5-yard line.
Dave Andrades did a great job to get around the end. He got a great wedge block in front. There you see 25. Good kick-out block there, and a good job getting up the field. That block made by Keon Davis, a beautiful block.
So the Chiefs with a 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. 6:52 to go in the 3rd quarter. It is 21-0 Hammonton, but the Chiefs on their opening drive knocking on the door. Hand off to Davis. He's tripped up near the goal line. Looks like he'll be about a yard shy of the end zone. And it'll be a 2nd and goal for the Chiefs. And boy, Tad, if nothing else, and this is typical of a Chuck Donahue team, a lot of teams in Hammonton down 21-0 say, okay, let's pack it in. Let's get ready for our season finale. You will never see that in Buena.
Well, I happened to walk by them in their huddle. They were at halftime. They were out talking, nice, calm, no yelling going on. A lot of times that helps the kid when they know the coach has confidence in you.
From inside the 1, 2nd and goal. Keon Davis into the pile and in for the Buena touchdown.
Touchdown. Buena Chiefs with 6 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Well, Ed, Keon Davis from 1 yard out. You really have to credit the front line blocking. As we look at it again, Davis just puts his head down, rides behind that front line, ran behind Steve Morris, Dan Lavari also in there. Great job of blocking. Now as they get ready for their extra points, Ed, they are 5 for 7 kicking it. This year, that's 71%, not too bad.
Brian Barbetto on to attempt the extra point for the Chiefs. Andrades with a hold on the high snap, but the kick is up and the kick is good. Very strong drive by the Buena Chiefs with 6:17 to go in the 3rd. Hammonton 21, Buena 7.
Very, very impressive drive by Buena in that set of circumstances. Ed, they did a great job methodically moving the ball down the field. I think the big play, though, was the play where Hammonton came in on the blitz. Mazzoni got around the outside, got flipped, but got the first down. That was the key play to that drive, and it's still a game, folks.
Well, the Buena offense has done its job, and now we'll see where the Buena defense has to set up. Kick goes high and away, and it'll be Stas taking it near his 10. Trying to get to the outside, is tackled behind the 25. They'll spot him at about the 21. Good tackle by Andrades, and now it's up to the Chiefs defense.
Well, that was step one for Buena. Now they've got field position. Now the whole game for Buena lies on this set of downs. You would love to see a 3 and a punt right now, but it's not going to be easy with this tough Hammonton team.
Just about to say, easier said than done against the Blue Devils. But the Chiefs now, with a little spark, let's see how these guys respond. From the 21-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. And now the keeper by Torres to the outside. Hit after a gain of about 3 on the play. Andrades again in on the stop with help from Matt Cole. And as they move the marker up, they'll give him a gain of 2 on the play. Now they'll move it up a little further. They move it out for what will be a 2nd down and about 7.
That's a real good call by Coach Lancetta, because I think myself, like the defense, was keying on Dorsey. 7 or 8 players went right to Dorsey. Good job by Torres to swing it around the outside. Pretty good coverage to hold it to just a 4-yard gain.
From the 24-yard line, 2nd down and 7, and this is DeRose disappearing into a pile of white. Strong defensive surge by the Chiefs as Tony Bailon made the tackle.
Well, this opening set of offense thus far for Hammonton, they're basically running the same plays we saw in the first half. In that formation, when DeRose gets the ball, you know as the left side of the defense, it's coming your way, and they were expecting it that time. This is a huge play in this game for Buena to have any shot.
No gain on the play, so 3rd down and 7 for the Blue Devils. Rolling to his left is Torres, looking for room, nobody open, still has it. Dale will force him out of bounds, and the Buena Chiefs get a 3 and out and force the Blue Devils to punt.
And you really have to tip your hat to the defensive backs, Ed. They covered everyone down the field. A great job of staying at home by Rich Dale. He's going to record the tackle, and here comes the punting team. Coach not happy, Ed.
Well, he's got some reason for concern now as the Chiefs, with a touchdown and a 3 and out. Dorsey set to punt for the Blue Devils. Line drive punt. It goes far. Bounces into Benjamin's hands. Great open field tackle as he's brought down. The ball comes loose and Hammonton gets the football. Matt Longo made the hit, and Hammonton gets a huge turnover.
Benjamin made a rookie mistake there, Ed, as we'll look at it again. Benjamin, a senior, shouldn't have fielded that ball, and Longo took it right away from him. 1st and 10 Hammonton, and that could be the difference in the game.
1st and 10 for the Blue Devils on the Buena 35. Torres to throw to the outside. The pass is high and incomplete to Brian Stas. Boy, again, Buena has to hold here, but that is an absolute backbreaker. 3rd turnover of the day.
Well, even if Hammonton doesn't score, the biggest backbreaker now is field position. You would have had the ball at about your own 35-yard line. Now Hammonton has a chance to move the ball down the field. By the way, there was a penalty flag down. This is coming back 5 yards against Hammonton.
Illegal motion against the Blue Devils, so they will make it a 1st and 15 from the 40. And again, it's still early in the second, well, midway now through the 3rd quarter, with 4:40 to go. The other factor here, Tad, of course, Hammonton keeps the football and starts running some more clock.
Turnovers is what killed Buena. They have 2 in this game. Hammonton yet to turn over 3. Thanks, Ed.
Handoff up the middle to Dorsey, and there goes Ron Dorsey. Gets the 5 back and then some near the 30.
Good open field tackle there by Benjamin. Saved a bigger gainer there, but Dorsey, Ed, in the first half, a big first half, nearly 100 yards on 14 carries.
He gets 10 on the play, so that'll bring up a 2nd and 5 from the 30-yard line. Chiefs have to hold and get the football back in what is now clearly 4-down territory for the Blue Devils. The This time the keeper again by Torres, trying to get to the outside. Chiefs read it nicely, not much there for Torres.
Beautiful job by Andradas there. He got around the outside, makes it 3rd down and 5, and Buena again is going to have to hold 2 more times.
Gets 1, so call it 3rd and 4 from inside the 29-yard line. Blue Devils 21, Chiefs 7. 21-0 at halftime. The Chiefs get a touchdown, a 3 and out, but they fumble the punt return. Longo out to the near side, but it's DeRose carrying inside. Good cutback, and that cut inside should give him the 1st down.
And that's really the first time this afternoon DeRose has cut that one back. For the most part in the first half, Ed, he kept stringing it outside. A heads-up play to cut that ahead, and it's close enough to measure. It's not automatic.
He lunged forward, but his knee went down. If this is not a 1st down, it is 4th and maybe about a centimeter.
DeRose, Ed, thus far has 8 carries for 40 yards. Dorsey has 15 for 99. Big measurement.
According to the Buena Chiefs, he did not get it. Let's see.
Inches. You know they're going on 4th down here.
They will most certainly do that. Even if it wasn't 4th and inches, you're in a situation where you're a little far out for a field goal and you're too close to punt, but no indecision here by the coaching staff. They will go here. 4th and, again, maybe about a centimeter.
Tough call for the defense. Do you play conservative, or do you really go up there and try and stack the play? Because Hammonton has the ability to take it outside if they want to on a fake.
Torres might keep this himself here on 4th and 1, but they will hand it off. And getting the 1st down of Morris Dorsey as he goes in for the touchdown.
Well, Ed, that's kind of what I was leaning towards on that play. Sometimes defensively you play things too tight at the line, and once you get through that line, it's easy sailing in the end zone. Dorsey into the end zone for his 25th touchdown of the year.
That puts him well over the 100-yard mark. He had 99 yards before that carry. And there he is.
That was a huge turn of events there, that last few plays, Ed.
Well, we talked about it during the week, and we talked about it on the weekend as we get the extra point upcoming here, the extra point attempt by Longo. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 28-7 Blue Devils with 2:58, and Tad for the Buena Chiefs, as we mentioned, to have a chance in this football game. We talked about how they had to play nearly mistake-free football. They've had 3 turnovers, and the 3rd one could have been the nail in the coffin.
Because you think they could have the ball on their own 30-yard line, maybe the 35 to start things off, trailing at 21-7. The turnover now in Hammonton. Good teams capitalize on other teams' mistakes. That's exactly what they did. They go up 28-7. As you can see, 2:58 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
And the Blue Devils, who gave up the touchdown, went 3 and out. What do? They come right back. As you mentioned, good teams respond to opportunities like they had, and now down by 21 in Hammonton is a tall order for a very gutty Buena team that have just had a couple of costly mistakes that have kept them from getting a chance to maybe have a shot at getting back in this football game.
Well, you just got to take it one step at a time, Ed. There's no such thing as the 20-point play. You just got to take it one step at a time and see if you can get a break or two to get yourself back in the game.
Some of our frozen fans here at Hammonton. Actually, the weather situation is not as bad as we had heard it might be. It's a little warmer than we thought it would be, and the key is there's no wind and the sun is out, so our fans are cold, but I think a lot more comfortable than they would be in a normal November playoff.
A very gentle breeze in the field, too, Ed. We haven't mentioned it. It's in great condition to play a game.
And they do an outstanding job here in Hammonton year in and year out.
Hammonton trying to help out Buena there by only putting 10 men out in the football team. Finally, Nick McCree came out to fill the 11th spot.
Now Matt Longo getting set to get things set up for his punt team, or for his kickoff team rather. There you see Paul Torres, who has done the job again, running the offense and doing the job in the secondary as well. This will be a short kick, and it'll be Dale with the handoff to Benjamin. Benjamin able to get it right back. Almost broken as he get down to the 38. Well, tip your hat to the Buena coaching staff. They give it right back to the senior after his fumble, and he gets a nice return.
Going deep down in the bag of tricks there. It almost worked. The last line defender came in and made the play. And again, it'll be interesting to see how Buena reacts to this. Let's look at it again here, Ed. You see that there's 4 and 5 Hammonton players that got taken right out of the play there. A nice defensive stop there to bring him down. That tackle made by Anthony Amedio.
From the 38-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Chiefs.
Should be over here.
Mazzoni on the keeper again to the outside. Gets one block and surges his way ahead for about 3. Tripped up by Brian Stoss.
Mazzoni was keeping that one all the way there. Called play at the line, and that play has worked to get some 5, Ed.
To do mark it for a 5-yard gain, so call it 2nd and 5 for the Chiefs, who have moved the ball this half. 2:28 to go in the 3rd.
I think the key, though, for Hammonton's defense is they've really contained Davis. Davis' longest run, 10 yards. He has 39 yards in the game on 12 carries.
So 2nd down and call it 5 now for the Chiefs. Handoff to Andrade, trying to sweep to the outside again. Able to get outside. Cuts in close to the 1st down as he's tackled near midfield.
Boy, Andrade is real quick, Ed. He really sputtered out there around the corner. Got some great blocking in front. You can see some nice wedge blocks in front. Davis again makes a nice block to clear about 5 or 10 yards. And it looks like they're going to get the 1st down.
1st down, Buena at the 50-yard line. So the Chiefs certainly making an outstanding effort here in this 2nd half and to move the ball offensively. They have 50 yards to go, but time down to 1:44 to go in the 3rd.
Right, if they shift here, go Inver. Lehigh! Paulie, get to the middle! Middle ball! Stuffing, dude.
Long count by Mazzoni. Keon Davis again, hard running by Keon as he gets down to the 44. Pickup of 6 on the play results in a 2nd and 4.
Well, you can hear the coaches on the near side of the field. They said if they shift, go into Lehigh. So the scouting report was on that play. As soon as they shifted it, they said it's going up the middle. Sure enough, it went up the middle, but Buena gets 5 yards on the play.
Good blocking up front and a good hard run by Davis. So now from the 44-yard line, 2nd and 4 for the Chiefs.
Parker on the side! Get up top, Brian Stoss. Get up top.
This time Mazzoni on the keeper again. Almost lost the football. Penalty flag comes down. This looks like a face mask against Hammonton.
It could be. Now, the way that was thrown, right where Dorsey made contact. No, Ed, that's going to go against Buena. Dorsey, as he made contact, is where the flag went down, but it must have been an illegal block right inside of Dorsey or on Dorsey.
We saw the flag right near where the tackle was made, so we stand corrected. This one will go against the Chiefs.
Legal block against Buena, and that's a big play because that's going to knock you back a bunch. 15-yard penalty.
Well, again, Buena has made a nice run to get to this point and get in the playoffs, and they could probably afford a penalty like this against Lower Cape May to win that game as they did, or Bridgeton as they did, but not against Hammonton.
Well, it puts you in 2nd and 25, and you're almost in a position where you're going to almost have to throw the ball, and when Hammonton knows you're going to throw it, Longo's been great at the safety position, anticipating the pass. Also, Peretti's done a good job at that defensive end, getting in the face of the quarterback.
2nd down and 24 for the Chiefs.
Run with him! Run with him!
Mazzoni going the other way, and the rush is on, and down he goes for the sack. Ron Dorsey able to bring him down.
Well, the jailbreak was on. Dorsey got to him first, but if Dorsey didn't, Peretti was right behind him, ready to finish off the quarterback Mazzoni, and a big call defensively for Hammonton.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter of play. Signs of life for Buena in the 3rd, but the Blue Devils reestablishing control. 1 quarter away for a Group 2 championship. Ed Bankin and Tad Kazaneski back here in Hammonton. There's our story as we start the 4th quarter. Blue Devils on top by a score of 28-7, and the Buena Chiefs right now facing 3rd down and Route 54.
Well, it's an obvious passing down, but with Hammonton coming in on the blitz, you're almost just as good in this situation just to try a draw play and see what happens.
These teams will get set to go here. And again, both of these teams concluding their regular season next week. A game we'll have on Channel 13, Buena hosting St. Augustine. And another game that, again, is being done by our friends at Suburban Cable, which we are planning to bring you, Hammonton and St. Joe's. The war for the division title. That should be a great football game. Third down.
This is like 37 or 47, Ed.
Third down and a long way to go. And they will just hand it up off the middle to Andrade, who's tackled, and the Buena Chiefs will punt it away as Greg Parker made the tackle.
I think that's a good call by Coach Donnie. You've already had 3 interceptions for Longo for this season, 1 in this game, and when they know you're going to pass, they can just sit back and pounce on it.
So now the Blue Devils will get the football back and work some clock. And one thing, too, Hammonton's not going to go 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but they're going to try and control the clock here and take off a lot of this time in the fourth quarter. Left-footed Myers with the punt across midfield and takes a Buena roll inside the 40 down to about the 35, and that is where the Hammonton Blue Devils will set up offensively.
Probably get a chance, Ed, I want to take this time to thank a guy who helped us out with our stats today for Hammonton and both teams, Bob Canavan, who's announcing on the radio right now on WONZ. Did a great job to fax us 500 pages of stats and information on this game, so I want to take this time to thank him for helping us out here on Jones Intercable.
Bob Canavan, the longtime voice of Hammonton and St. Joe's football on WONZ, knows these teams very well year in and year out.
Got us prepared for this Hammonton team because obviously it's the first time we've seen them this year, and it really helped with all the notes he gave us.
Hammonton also very well prepared today as they get the handoff up the middle from the 35-yard line. Only about 2 on the play as Dorsey is piled up on. That'll bring up a second down. And again, Dorsey had 99 yards midway through that third quarter, and then he had the long touchdown run. So he's having, again, a day on the stat sheet that will certainly look impressive.
Unofficially, Ed, I have him 17 carries for 130 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Let's go, man!
2nd and 7, as you see, from the 38-yard line of Hammonton. Torres will keep it himself, rolling to his right, under pressure, avoids the sack, and now will go out of bounds. Boy, a good job by Torres to turn a near sack into a gain.
And if you're Buena, that's a play you have to have. They got in there, they got pressure, and weren't able to get it. There is a flag down, and this is going to come back, and I'm sure Buena will take it as it's against Hammonton.
If they get the sack, as we see some of the Hammonton cheerleaders, hello, you don't have to hide, that's okay.
Oh, that's carpet there. I thought that was like perfect grass there for a second. Very impressive. They've had a lot to cheer about today, that's for sure.
If they were able to get the sack, then the Chiefs most likely would have declined the penalty, but this holding penalty will bring the football back. And they have to get to the 45 for the first down, and now they will mark the infraction down at the 24. So call it 2nd down and 21 for the Hammonton Blue Devils. Interesting call here for the Blue Devils with the 21-point lead. Bread and butter play to Dorsey. Almost lost the football as he's tackled by Steve Torres. Came loose, but good job of covering up.
Torres got a real nice hit on that. Got his helmet right on the ball. Dorsey almost coughed it up. What they did there in that play is they put 2 wide receivers in the game, tried to open up the field for Dorsey and say, go ahead, run over a linebacker, get us a big gain.
So they call it 3rd down and now 19. Long way to go for the Blue Devils, who probably will just hand off here. While they take their time and the clock continues to tick. Now Torres will throw, rolls to his left, floats one over the middle, incomplete. Dale with the coverage on Longo, and Longo got a step behind him, but the pass was too tall.
And Longo was open earlier on in the play. A good recovery, though, by Dale, who kind of dared him to throw it, went after the interception because it was overthrown. Nobody caught it.
So the punt team, this is something we haven't seen much of Hammonton all day. The punt team coming on for the Blue Devils, but when they've been on, they've been as effective as the rest of their game.
If you're Buena, you almost want to say, let's go after the kicker, but they send 2 receivers back, and they have 4 men off the line, so they're playing for the return.
Especially with Dorsey as the punter. If he's able to get away from the rush, look out. Wow. There's another terrific kick by Dorsey. Fair catch called. And the Chiefs let it roll in the confusion. And this one goes all the way down to the 13. Another special teams miscue by the Chiefs.
I feel like I'm Sunday morning in front of my TV watching the Eagles play today. A couple, as Ed mentioned, a couple of special teams plays have really dug Buena in a hole. Somebody's got to catch that ball, Ed. That cost them 25 yards on the bounce.
Sure needed Ross and Monica from Friends to start grappling after that football like they did this past week, but not so that time with 9:33 remaining. Sorry if anyone taped Friends and was going to watch it a little later.
It was a classic.
From the 13-yard line as the Hammonton Blue Devils looking to put the finishing touches on a Group 2 semifinal victory, leading 28-7. Handoff up the middle, good surge, not much there. Well, again, Ted, Buena in their earlier game against Hammonton, throughout the game plan, went back to pass, and the Hammonton pass rush was just too much for Mazzoni. Now I think, if nothing else, Chuck Donahue knows the situation, just wants to see his players play hard this half, and I think, as you mentioned, the tone was really set at halftime.
Yeah, at halftime it was just very difficult for Buena. They did what they had to do, they scored, but the special teams play have really hurt them. I feel like Buena wants to throw here, but Longo back at safety just has a great job of anticipating the ball and getting in the way of everything.
2nd down and 5, as you saw, for the Chiefs. And Mazzoni goes back to pass, going deep down the right side, and that one goes into the sidelines incomplete. It looked like somebody zigged where they should have zagged.
That's going to be their best shot at a pass, too. You almost saw a two-step drop and a timing pattern. That way the safety really can't get involved with the play. And that's kind of why you'll do that in that situation, to keep Longo out of it.
So now a 3rd down and 5 for the Chiefs. Clock down to 8:46 to go in the 4th. And a reminder, coming up after the game, we will have our star of the game down on the field. At this point, it's looking more and more like a Blue Devil, as they lead 28-7. 3rd down and 5 for the Chiefs.
Rocco, you got goal, Rocco!
Back to pass again is Mazzoni over the middle, and the catch is made by Andrades, and he ducks down for 1st down at the 36.
Good pass there. They got it right into the seam. Andrades has done a good job receiving the ball. He's got some real nice hands.
So the Chiefs, again, have been able to get their share of 1st downs offensively in the 2nd half, but mistakes have been too costly against this Hammonton team.
Well, the 3 turnovers to start, that'll kill you, but the worst one, unfortunately, was on the punt.
1st and 10 for the Chiefs from the 36. Outside they'll go with Dale, and Dale has a little bit of room and turns it into a lot more room. Still on his feet, and he has the 1st down in Hammonton territory.
It's only the 4th time Dale's carried the ball. That was a nice carry, about 15 yards. It looked like he was going to be stopped a lot earlier, but just kept going up the sidelines untouched.
They'll spot it at the 50, right at midfield. 1st down Chiefs with 8:12 to go. The clock stops on the out-of-bounds play.
Hammonton is definitely doing a better job defensively in the 1st half, and Buena's doing a better job overall in this game at running the ball compared to the first time these two teams met.
Quick hitter to Keon Davis, carrying a tackler with him. Nice run by Davis as he picks up about 8.
Well, they had the blitz going right up the middle. Once you get by the blitz, you're going to get a big run like that, and a good job defensively to carry him down from behind.
So 2nd down and a long 2 coming up now for the Chiefs. Keon Davis has been able to work that belly play to a little more effectiveness so far in the 2nd half.
1 minute left!
Now Mazzoni double checking or changing the play down on the field. Davis again, and able to force his way outside, and that should be enough for the 1st down.
Davis again, good 2nd and 3rd effort, Ed. He came around the corner. These guys are not giving up. They're doing a real nice job of running the ball.
And Keon Davis, don't forget, Buena fans, only a sophomore. So he will have plenty more chances against this Hammonton team. Look, it's the can-can. Sign him up, get him on Broadway. Hammonton side certainly a happy one so far today, but Buena now driving 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Keon Davis again trying to bounce outside and doesn't have much there. Gets maybe 4 as he's brought down on the play by Stas. So Davis really had that middle clogged and just tried to take it to the outside.
Davis now with 55 yards in the game, on 15 carries. He's holding his own. And again, this Buena offensive line is starting to come of age here.
Good mix on this Buena team of juniors and seniors. Their starting offensive line, they have only 2 seniors. That's Marsh and Morris. Lavari, of course, also in there. So they have a good mix. They'll get a strong nucleus returning come next season. 2nd down and 6 for the Chiefs from the 34-yard line, and they'll go outside again to Andrades. Cuts in nicely and spins his way near the 30, about the 31-yard line. Now they'll mark him at the 30. It'll be a 3rd down and 1 coming up for the Chiefs, but the clock continues to wind. 6:06 to go in the 4th.
Hammond did a good job of hanging with that play. Timeout now called against Hammonton. Coach Lane said they're not happy with the way Buena really just running it right down their throat.
While we have a moment, we'd like to take time out to tell you about another one of our great sponsors here on Jones Intercable, our good friends at Gloucester County Federal Savings Bank. They're your community-based lender. They have locations in Washington Township, Monroe Township, Pittman, and Glassboro, offering the friendliest personal service in the area. They are your bank. Affordable housing loans, auto loans, great situations for first-time home buyers looking for loans, home equity loans as well, local and mutual funds. They have been in the business for over 90 years. That's a lot of football. Over 90 years, actually since 1903. Stop by and see our good friends at Gloucester County Federal Savings Bank. Bob Aarons and company do a great job. Again, with locations in Washington Township, Monroe Township, Pittman, and Glassboro. Your friends at Gloucester County Federal Savings. There's our story, and there's everything you need to know and then some with 6:07 to go, 28-7 Hammonton. And who knows what would have happened if Buena did not make the turnovers. Again, they are still facing a very tough Hammonton team, but it has to be a bit frustrating to have the opportunity there. Now the Chiefs driving again, 3rd and 1. Davis is popped at the line of scrimmage by Mike Mento.
Well, Mento came blitzing right in, got by the block, and they make it from a 4th and 1 to a 4th and 5. Let's look at it again on the replay. He gets in there, blows right by his block. Yeah, missing the block there. Unfortunately, up on the line was by low, and he just snuck right in there. Now a tough 4th down call, and you have to go for it.
Chiefs will go as... Again, in this situation with the score 28-7, 5:37 to go, let's see what Buena decides to do, and they will call timeout to talk about it. Well, Tad, it's been a fun season of high school football here on Jones Intercable. Again, we're not going to give away any secrets, but there's another game that you'll be able to see after this, courtesy of our friends at Suburban Cable, Washington Township and Ocean City. But looks like this could be it for the playoffs. For most of our teams, there is a parochial team, of course, that occupies this same town in Hammonton, St. Joe's, and Wildcats looking very impressive going into this weekend's playoff.
Well, playoffs aside, Ed, I think it's been a great year for our Jones Intercable teams. Like, who would have thunk it this time last year that Williamstown would be fighting for a playoff spot and almost got in? A tremendous job by Coach there, and you just can't say enough that they are actually, as we tape this, still in a position to possibly hang in there for the division title.
That will all depend on the Gloucester Catholic-Deptford clash on Thanksgiving weekend. If Deptford does win that game, there will be a 4-way tie at the top for the Tri-County Royal title between Kingsway, Williamstown, Deptford, and Gloucester Catholic. 4th and 4 for the Chiefs. They spotted on the 33-yard line. Hammonton showing blitz as they line everybody up. Keon Davis won't get the first down as he is stopped short by about 2 yards. So the Hammonton defense putting the finishing touches on this one.
Hammonton made the big plays this afternoon, Ed, when they had to, and Buena didn't. That's been the difference in the game. Buena has played a good game. You really couldn't say they played a bad game with the exception of the turnovers, which is obviously a part of the game, but Buena's held their own on the field. I think they've done a nice job of hanging with Hammonton.
And we clearly see the difference between this team and the team that lost to Hammonton earlier in the season, and it will be fun when these two teams get together again next season. The game next year will be down here in Hammonton. Outside it goes to DeRose, and the Chiefs able to make the quick pursuit as Dave Bailon makes the tackle. And that'll bring up a second down for Hammonton. As the Blue Devils can now start thinking about either Morristown or Deptford. A 1-yard gain on that play, but again, those two teams are battling now in the other semifinal.
And DeRose, Ed, has quietly had a pretty good afternoon. 9 carries, 42 yards. He averages 6.8, 10 touchdowns. I mean, we haven't been tooting his horn a lot in this game, but he's had some big carries in this one.
Ryan DeRose, of course, noted for his escapades on the baseball field for Hammonton High School. Second down and 9 for the Blue Devils. There is DeRose again with a big hole, looking to break outside as he's banged down after another first down.
Right there, you can see right there, the thing you like about DeRose is DeRose can hit the hole very quickly. He sees the hole, cuts it upfield, just keeps going, and a big hit put on there by Dave Andrades.
So now it'll be a first down at the 45-yard line. The Blue Devils looking to wind this down, 4:25 to go. As they put the finishing touches on the semifinal win. Hand off to Dorsey, and he surges off that right side, hard running down to midfield. He'll get 4 on the play. It'll be second down. Now look, mark it at the 49, so give him 5 on the play. Second down and 5, and boy, Hammonton just business as usual, punching in the work clock, another day at the office.
And if you're Buena, Ed, here, this is where you have to start taking some chances, maybe come in on some more blitzes. Second guy in has to go for the ball.
Second down now, and called a long 4 for the Blue Devils. There's the fake, and it's DeRose trying to string to the outside, and he picks up the first down.
Well, he got 10 more on that one, Ed. Outstanding run, but again, it's all the blocking of this front line of Hammonton. I mean, we haven't talked a lot specifically about the young men on the line, but they are really creating some big holes.
Well, first down yardage again, and Morristown or Deptford will be Hammonton's opponent in 2 weeks for the Group 2 championship. Again, going into this weekend, Morristown kind of new to the playoff field for the first time in a while, and Deptford has been there and has been close a couple of times, and they are a team that many thought could be facing Hammonton in the Group 2 final this year. First and 10 now for the Blue Devils, and Dorsey surges his way ahead. Strong running by Dorsey. And it looks like he'll get 6, call it second and 4.
Some of those men on the front line at the stars of the game, Templeton, Amidio, Caputo, Herman, and Fido, have done an absolutely tremendous job for Hammonton. And that's been the key of this game, this front line blocking. They've been able to move the ball, running it when they want to.
Well, Pete Lancetta right now just looking to take time off the clock here. If one of the Blue Devils breaks one, they break one, but he's just more worried about running out the clock here. He's got this one in the bag, and he can start thinking about St. Joe's next week for the division, and then the championship. Outside they go, and a strong run. First carry of the game now for...
That was the quarterback keeper, actually, Ed.
That was Paul Torres with the faked us out.
And Terry Graff came in from his safety spot to make the play, and Torres is coming up a little hobbling, Ed.
Well, this is one thing that Hammonton does not need with 2 very big games. And boy, Tad, when St. Joe's plays Hammonton next week, that is going to be one heck of a football game.
It's great that we get to see it here on Jones Intercable. Fantastic battle against 2 strong arch rivals.
First and 10 again, and Torres hands it off to DeRose. This time he's hit in the backfield, and pretty much basic stuff here by Pete Lancetta. He is a class act as well as the gentleman across the way from him, and he's not thinking points at all. He's thinking run out the clock.
That's all it is. Just get out and make it to next week, and hopefully no injuries. We really haven't had many serious injuries in this game, so they should be in good shape for next week. And if you're Buena, hey, you got here. It's a stepping stone to get you ready for next year.
And still a chance to finish with a 6-win season, what would be a 6-4 record, what they will be most certainly favored to do Thanksgiving Eve against the St. Augustine team that has clearly fallen on hard times this year after a state championship a year ago. Loss of 2, so call it second and 12. Hand off to Dorsey. Look at him surge up the middle. Boy, it has been a pleasure to watch Ron Dorsey show his stuff today, not just with the offensive and defensive side, but his punting has certainly made a difference.
He has really punted the ball extremely well. I mean, that's something we didn't get the scouting report on. He punts the ball as good as anybody we've seen. In this game now, he has carried the ball 21 times for over 150 yards.
1 minute and counting. We'll look to bring Ron Dorsey on along with Coach Lancetta on our post-game show. There's that Buena defense. They have fought hard here in this second half. They fought hard the entire game, but better team lined up against them today. Dorsey again with that surge along the right side, and that could be the final play. Let's see. Now they stop it at 37 seconds. They'll probably run one more play. Torres might just take a knee here and run this out. So the Hammonton Blue Devils had to work against the scrappy Chiefs, but they have done the job as they always seem to do, and they find themselves in the familiar position of playing for the Group 2 championship. Down to 21 seconds. This will be the final play of the game. Torres just steps down on one knee, and that will do it. Well, tip your hat to the Chiefs. They fought hard, but too much in Hammonton today. The Blue Devils' day. As the clock will wind down, the Hammonton crowd on their feet, and that will do it. Hammonton wins 28-7. They are on their way to the Group 2 championship.
And Ed, you really have to tip your cap to Buena. I think Buena came ready to play. They had a good game plan going. They definitely improved on their play the first time they played against Hammonton. And were it not for the 3 turnovers, this might have been a lot closer game than the score would indicate.
We'll take a break here on Jones Intercable as they strike up the band and shake hands in Hammonton. We'll be back with our post game right after this. Okay, thank you very much, Ted, and we are back down here on the field. Impressive win by the Hammonton Blue Devils as they move on once again to the Group 2 championship, 28-7 over Buena. Joined by our coach of the game and our player of the game, first of all, Ron Dorsey. Ron, early on in this game, the Buena Chiefs defensively did some things. They got a couple of plays. Was your punt down at the 1-yard line maybe the first thing that really got things going? It kind of tilted the field a little bit your way?
Probably, because coaches always said field position is going to win the game, so I just know I had to hit a good punt off to pin them back deep so we have good field position, so that's what I did.
You faced Buena obviously earlier in the year. They're a divisional opponent. Is it a little bit of an advantage or a disadvantage when you go into the playoffs and you face a team you've already seen before? Obviously, they've seen you too. Is it easier sometimes to see somebody different or somebody the same?
Easier to see somebody different because the same, you played them the first time, and they come, what you run and everything, and whoever goes good the first game, they're gonna try to stop the second game. So it's harder playing somebody you played already before.
This team, it seems like it's in a big game year in and year out every year down here at Hammonton. You've had a lot of impressive wins, but how far does that go with the big game experience? To be in a situation like you were in the second half where Buena gets a touchdown, starts to get a little momentum, but the way that this team keeps its poise year in and year out?
We just stick it together, man. Together as a team, and we just come out, just play. If we're down, we stick at the team and go keep on playing. But we was ahead, so we just kept on playing as a team, and that's how come we won today.
Well, we know you got the Group 2 championship in 2 weeks, but I know you have another big game with, as your coach said, some guys down the street, of course, with St. Joe's. A lot of people looking forward to that game. Tell us a little bit about the Wildcats and what you expect of them once again.
I don't even know what they did today, but I know it's going to be a good game next week. We got some friends on that team, some enemies, so it's a little, town rival. So it's going to be fun playing it, and plus hard because both of us, good teams.
Ron, congratulations on a great game. Good luck this week, and good luck in the championship as well. Joined now by Coach Lancetta as the pupil wins, the student wins over the teacher today as he defeats his old buddy Chuck Donahue 28-7. Coach, early on in the game, again, they were able to get some movement defensively, and then came the punt down the 1-yard line. The field position kind of tilted. Do you think that was the difference early on?
Well, it was important. Field position's important, as Ronnie said, and we feel we have 2 very good kickers, maybe the best tandem in all of South Jersey. And, he just punted. It wasn't a design or anything. He just punted it, and it hung up there a little bit, and Matt Longo was able to go down and down the football. But, that was a real big point in the first half, yeah.
Just ask this question to Ron. I'll ask you the same thing from a coach's perspective. Would you have rather gotten a chance to see somebody different as opposed to somebody who's gotten to play you once already in the regular season?
Yeah, it's very awkward. It's tough, and especially when you're playing a Coach Donahue team. He did a great job, and they're certainly a better football team than we played the first time, and that's a tribute to him and his staff. Just to get into the playoffs after the start that they had. I think it was 1-3. He's a great coach, and I'm still very good friends with him today. As you know, I played under him, and I'm where I'm at today because of him, largely in part, because of him, and I appreciate that. But, and I didn't beat him. The kids play the game, and, we just have a better football team this year. That's all it really is.
Couple keys too were the turnovers. The big play team in the second half is after Buena had scored and held, came that fumbled punt. And as we've seen before, good teams seem to have a habit of taking advantage of these situations. Has that really been another key to this team's success year in and year out?
Well, yeah, we're mature this year especially, and we've been in big games before. And when you get a turnover, you have to capitalize on it, and we did. Matt Longo made a real big play. He made the tackle, stripped the ball, and I think he came up with it. And then we took it right in and scored because they had us reeling a little bit right there after they scored and stopped us on that set of downs. And you have to put two halves together. We put a real nice first half together, and I don't believe we did in the second half. Although you have to give a lot of credit to Coach Donahue and his players because second half they made some adjustments at halftime, and they hurt us on a few things. So, but hey, overall we got the job done. We're going to the finals, and that's what this is all about anyway.
It's funny, a lot of situations teams get into the finals and they usually look past maybe the game before they get to the finals. That certainly won't be this case. I know you've got St. Joe's coming up next week in the big neighborhood rivalry. Obviously the Wildcats off to another impressive season as well. Tell us a little about what you've seen so far from St. Joe's this year.
Well, I haven't seen them very much, to be honest with you. I saw them just a couple of times, but traditionally they're very good, well coached, and tough kids. This year's no exception. They're undefeated. I'm sure they won today, and it's always a big game. I wish we were playing on Thanksgiving, but Paul wants to play on Saturday, so we have to do that. I hope there are a lot of people here, and it'll be a heck of a football game.
Somehow I get the feeling there might be a pretty good crowd here for that game with St. Joe's and Hammonton. Coach, congratulations. Either Morristown or Deptford awaits in 2 weeks. Best of luck to you.
All right, thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. The victorious player and coach. Hammonton wins, and they move on to the Group 2 championship. Let's send it back up to Tad Kozaneski for some final thoughts. Tad?
Once again, Ed, some final stats ending the game for Buena, who comes away a loser, unfortunately, in this one. Andrade, 6 carries, 38 yards. Dale, 4 carries for 23. Mazzoni had 4 carries for 32. Davis, 15 carries, 55 yards. Passing the ball, Mazzoni was 4 for 7 for 47 yards. Again, the 3 turnovers, the killers for Buena. For Hammonton, who wins the game, Torres running the ball, 6 carries, 25 yards, passing 3 for 6 for 34. Ron Dorsey, our player of the game, finished with 22 carries, over 160 yards. Stas, 4 carries for 6. DeRose, 12 carries for 64 yards. Once again, there you have it, our final score. Hammonton wins to advance the Group 2 championship game by a score of 28-7.